So you guys apparently keep on wondering why the beard's gone? Well, here you go.
Isn't that lovely, everybody? Everybody's happy? Is everybody happy? Everybody happy? I think the whole building is happy. I don't think anybody's happy except for...
Yeah, right.
I don't even know. So let's just talk about what's going on in the technology world. Korea has been shut down as far as their entire internet infrastructure. So one of their top-level name servers was configured incorrectly, and it was allowing global domain system transfers, and that allows pretty much anybody to come in and perform a zone transfer request, and then that will give them basically a copy of everything on the DNS, and they could see all the websites. So they were able to go over there and be like, hey, here's Korea's 28 websites. In reference, GTA 5 has 83 websites. GTA 5 has more websites than North Korea. But, nobody really has internet over there. It's kind of a strange place. Like there's only 1024 IP addresses for 25 million people. Pretty ridiculous in Korea. I want to see what those websites are like. Now, they're kind of hard to get to right now because of all these articles that are coming out, and everyone's like flooding these websites to see, exactly what, Korean websites look like and what sort of information they're spitting out to the rest of the world. This is basically the only internet that people in this country have. They can go to these 28 websites. It's kind of that's kind of it, because the rest of the world's blocked. Could you live on 28 websites?
Yeah, I need 29.
29 for sure.
What's Facebook going to allow when they start providing internet with those, what is it, the balloons, right? They want to give internet to the world. What websites are they going to curate for their new customer, market?
It should be about 28 and 29 websites that are deemed wholesome.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Every website's going to be 4chan.
You want to talk about Allo for a minute? Allo.
Sure.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello, governor.
Is that what they were going for? Hello. Did they know everyone was going to walk around going, hello, hello, hello?
But, seriously, I just got to say right off the bat, when it comes to privacy invasion, just leave me allo.
That was really bad. That burns. It hurts so bad, I'm going to need to put some aloe on it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. That was better than mine. Better than mine.
Yeah, I guess you like aloe my puns better.
Oh, okay. Let's go on.
Let's just move on. So, Allo is another. It's just another chat app, and it's not Hangouts. I'm not sure why they didn't integrate all these features into Hangouts, but I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I think they know a lot of people are going to avoid it for privacy issues, but a lot of people are going to be using this just for convenience. So Allo introduces a few new things. It's got Google's new assistant that is very similar to like Siri or something like that. You just tell it, hey, I want to find a place to have a sandwich nearby that, also serves liquid bread. And you're like, oh, cool, right here's a place. So it does that. But then it uses all the data you send it to create a database, and then it searches through all of the information that you throw at it, and it tries to find patterns. It says like, oh, you usually say, LOL instead of ha 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 ha. So as you're typing, it'll start giving you options. If someone else says something funny or whatever, one of the options will be LOL instead of ha ha ha. So it tries to learn you. But here's the privacy drawback. Now, all this stuff is encrypted on the phone, and it's encrypted when you're going back and forth between people and that sort of thing. But it all goes to a Google server where it is stored. And they are, by default, storing it all there so that they can have a bigger pile of data to sift through, because they know more data means more convenience for you. And here's the thing that's really troubling to me. When you go out and you do surveys and stuff like that, the thing that people want the most is convenience. And the thing that they seem to worry about the least, it's like, 16, 17% of the people when questioned about these things have privacy as a concern. It's like most people are just not really worried about privacy at all. They're just, well, if it's convenient, give it to me. That's what I want.
Yeah, no, that's something that I normally don't like. People are a little bit complacent and just like, they go with the flow, and they're just like, oh, this works so great. I don't care what it's thinking about me in the background. You never know. I mean, God forbid some email from 1999 that you said this or that comes to bite your ass later. You don't know what that's been stored on and what's gonna.
Yeah,
surface.
see, this is the thing where people say this is a tinfoil hat issue. Like, oh, you're so worried. Why does the government give a fuck about your muffin recipe that you're sharing with your friends? Do they? They don't care. They don't care about where you're going or anything like that. They don't care about any of that stuff. But the whole point that all that information is there and stored somewhere is something that you're gonna have to think about. And I want to know out there from you guys. Did you guys care about convenience or privacy? There's a trade-off here. Which one is more important to you, convenience or privacy? Do you want to be able to whip out the this app and talk to it and have it tell you where to go and help you and set your alarm and all this kind of stuff? Do you want that? Do you want it to have predictive text while you're typing and that sort of thing? Do you want all these things, or would you rather have privacy? So just let me know in the comments here. I'm kind of curious about that. But when you look at all this, Google is harvesting more data than the NSA. And we know this because the NSA frequently has to subpoena Google to get information. And that brings me to the next point of all this. Since all of this stuff is stored on a server somewhere, it will be, I guess it will be accessible to law enforcement, but Google says that they don't see a subpoena as something, that's strong enough for them to turn over the data. They need a warrant. So if law enforcement comes to them with a warrant, they will turn over your data. And I downloaded Allo just to play around with it for a minute last night so I could have an idea. And I started asking the Google Assistant or whatever, hey, man, what's up with all this privacy? And just started talking to it a little bit. And I said, what do you do with my data? And the response was, when you use Allo, you are trusting Google with your data. So that was the response. Just, you're trusting us. They just flat out told me. It didn't say, would you like to trust us? No, it said, no, you're using this. That means that you're trusting us with your data. So the only way around this right now is incognito mode, but you lose pretty much all the features, and you may as well just be using a regular chat app because,
Well, at least you didn't get a response like, "Don't, Dave."
I can't let you ask that question, Dave.
It's great to have a nice medium between convenience and privacy, because obviously marketing, the advertising, they got to do something with the information if this, and most apps that are free. But I was having a conversation with a friend of mine regarding Telegram, for those of you that know that messaging app, like, WhatsApp or Telegram, not all the others. Fine. They tell you within the app permissions what it's going to do with your data, what's it actually grabbing. But it's got to be a medium between convenience and the privacy issue, because Telegram syncs all your contacts on your phone, or your phone contacts. However, it doesn't say yes or no, would you like to opt out? Maybe, I think at some point, apparently some told me that you could. I did not have the app at that time. Now it literally just says, we're going to sync it. So if you want to use the app, it just automatically does that. So I could be on Telegram doing whatever the heck I want. All of a sudden, my mother on the phone happens to get Telegram, and she's like, who's this? Like, something like I may want to try to keep secret. So like an alter ego, if you just happen to have one, you're Superman, I don't know. You want to hide that, but your mother's about to find out that you're Superman. That's not convenient. Okay, you should be able to opt out of that. So if you got to make that sacrifice, as long as you're okay with it, fine. But there's got to be that medium between privacy and convenience. So it's all up to the user at the end of the day. Do you want to give it up?
I also mentioned real quickly, Snowden, of course, is coming out and saying, do not use Allo. And he's just, you guys can go read that or not. Read that or not, yeah, if you want to. But let's move on here. And let's just do a quick mention of this, because we talked about this quite a bit ago on the tech. And this is something that's happening in Nashville with AT&T and Comcast. Google Fiber wants to, roll out in that area, but right now, in order to get access to all the polls and everything that they would need to get access to, they have to go through this ridiculous process because those polls are controlled by Comcast and AT&T. In other places, they're controlled by the city or the state or the utility companies, public companies. But in certain places like Nashville, they're controlled by the incumbents. And so Google's having a little bit of trouble getting access to those. And during this entire process, Google was trying to help. They were asking for reform. So some people were like, okay, well, we can have a one-touch button that basically you go online, you request access, you get access to the poll, so you can go up there and install your lines. Well, the thing that we were saying was that, well, Comcast and AT&T are basically writing the legislation, and right there it looked like that was what was happening, but I mean, it at least looked like they were lobbying and proposing things to the government there in Tennessee. But no, it's actually they were verbatim writing the legislation. Sherry Weiner, I believe it is Weiner, she basically told Ars Technica that, yeah, I was on a business trip and it was deadline last minute, and AT&T and Comcast wrote the legislation, and so I just submitted it. What? You're on a business trip. What business are you doing? Oh, maybe a side business, not the one that you're getting paid by a tax dollar.
This all comes down to the simple fact that politicians, I'm not going to say all don't, but politicians that, to understand the backbone of how this infrastructure works and what's good for the masses, what's good for business, what's good for the people, technology in general, it's just going to go over their head. So instead of having an advisor, one of their advisors probably, or hire someone to break it down for them and explain it, it's like why this is good, why this is bad. It's like, oh, AT&T Comcast just wrote up the whole legislation for me. That's so easy. Sure, this looks great on the surface, but there's 500 pages of all this jargon I don't get. Sure, I'll just sign it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it works, and it's sad and ridiculous. If you guys live in Tennessee and you know Sherry Weiner or whatever her name is, can you just make sure that you don't vote for her again? It's just it's going to be bad for your health and bad for your internet speeds. Yeah, keep it.
They don't have enough fiber in their diet.
It's very true. They got to keep that duopoly alive there in Tennessee. Sad. All right, let's move on over to take a quick look at what Nokia says that they can deliver. Nokia's been playing around with some internet technologies, and they say that they're going to be able to deliver internet 2,000 times faster, or 2,000 times faster than Verizon Fios, but 1,000 times faster than Google Fiber. They have created a terabit network. Well, they're calling it probabilistic constellation shaping. I mean, that name, where did you get that name? Probabilistic constellation shaping. That sounds it sounds like a 1 terabit network to me. So this is interesting because it doesn't say here in the article, but I imagine they're able to use the same fiber technology, and then all you really need for a lot of these future technologies is to put a new box of knowledge on each side of it. It's all about the technology you have in between the fiber, because fiber has a ridiculous I mean, this is like the 100-year infrastructure. The fiber is going to last a long time. So we need to get that damn fiber in the ground, Tennessee. Come on. Of course, we'll have to get all new equipment into data centers and that sort of thing. But can you imagine one thing that can receive a terabit connection? That's going to take the place of tons of these, like 10 gig, 40 gig, whatever. It's going to be nice. So, yeah.
I mean, it was already established that coax can hit gigabit, if not more. So there's just so much infrastructure, copper infrastructure that we already have laid down that can go beyond what its current capabilities are. But it's just about the lack of giving a shit and the lack of saying, oh, let's just hoard the taxpayers' money. That's really all it's about, because it has so much more potential than that. So this terabit thing is all nice and fancy, but we don't even need that per se yet. But
yeah, well, I mean, it would be nice to have that as transferring data as a backbone. You know what I mean? This technology would be amazing for a backbone. Oh, yeah. But I mean, hell, I would take terabit here in the office if we could get it. I mean, why not? Why not have terabit? I don't even know. What do we do with that? 50 videos a week? Yeah, really. Yeah, right. We'd never be able to make that many. But we've got right now we've got gigabit coming in over coax from the roof. It's kind of interesting. And works just fine, but at least we're gonna have it installed very soon. We got like 100-something megabit right now. Anyway, quick mention here: 2 out of 3 young millennials. Young millennial is defined as an 18 to 24-year-old. So 2 out of 3 of those people are using an ad blocker for the internet. And the reason I'm bringing up this article here is because the main reason that they are using ad blockers is to avoid intrusive ads. And then speeding up browsing is most important. Privacy is all the way down there at the bottom again. But I think privacy is not something you can feel, but you can feel the anger when you go to a page and there's a pop-up that takes over the entire page, and then the music starts playing, and then it slows down your page load, and then you just flip your desk and leave. Or you install ad blocker, so yeah.
I think just the plethora of ads is just to induce coronaries. I think that's really all it is.
Yeah, really.
At an early age, that's about it.
Yeah. Many of these ads should have the same warning that goes in front of many anime. You know, many of the different animes out there.
No, how about the same warning that the Surgeon General's warning on cigarettes? Put that on an ad.
Yeah. All right, we're going to talk about Lenovo for just a minute. We have talked about Lenovo a lot. Now, Lenovo has had a pretty rough track record. Big Chinese, massive company. They're making phones now. They're doing all kinds of things. They've got some really interesting technologies. But, you know, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, they had the Superfish, which was essentially something installed on your computer that would reinstall itself even if you reinstalled your operating system. And it was tracking software that was, quote unquote, basically used for their marketing purposes so that they could realize a little bit more money out of you. So once they sold you the laptop, they're like, you can have the laptop, but we're going to put our hand in your pocket and follow you home. So just know that. So they did that. They were scolded for it. They said, oh, we're sorry, we'll stop. And then they did it again. And it's still there. And like some of the new stuff still has the Superfish on it. Well, now they're doing something else that people are freaking out about. And on Reddit, they've been yelling and screaming that Microsoft is in cahoots with them. But now they're forcing people to use only Windows on their machines. And I'm wondering if that's so they can install tracking software. Maybe it's harder for them to install tracking software on Linux. I don't know. But what they've done here is kind of creative. There's a proprietary Intel driver that works with RAID, and they have, you know, their hard drives installed in there. But it doesn't. So the proprietary Intel driver works with RAID. They have their UEFI locked to RAID mode, and you can't change it to, you know, what is it, HCI? Can't change it. So that's how you would install Linux. You would need to change it to HCI mode, then install Linux. Doesn't work. So that's what Lenovo is doing now to force you to install Windows. A lot of people were saying, oh, no, Microsoft is doing this. Microsoft has been quick to release statements saying, no, this is Lenovo's doing. They've decided to do this on their own. And you know, Lenovo, of course, is being like, well, we're not trying to lock Linux out, but just this choice happens to make it pretty much impossible to install Linux unless Linux people can come up with a driver that will work with this. So it's kind of a strange choice to lock it to RAID. Because I mean, why? Why would you lock that? I mean, they don't understand why they would do it other than to lock them into a certain operating system. But for what purpose? Are they trying to install the Superfish or something like it? Could be. I don't know. You got any ideas on this one? Or?
Well, in general, just overall in the market, I've seen this trend, and I gotta acknowledge this. It's not just Lenovo, but
right.
In general,
The bigger picture.
This trend that I've noticed with technology, tablets, computers, phones, things are getting locked down so much and curated to the point that you just don't own what you buy. Everything is rented, and it's just the end result for them is getting the device in your hands, because they're not making money off of the sales of the devices. They're making money in the long run from what they're able to get out of you with said device. That's it. You're renting something, and you are the money pit, if you will, obviously.
Right. I wonder if there is like a list online somewhere of just products or brands that when you buy that brand or you buy that product, you can hack it, you can take it apart, you can repair it, you can change the firmware, you can upgrade the OS or something like that. I wonder if there's a list somewhere that just like, hey, if you buy this, you own it. Mm-hmm. Is there a list somewhere online? So someone in the comments, you guys know
I'm sure
if there's a list.
If it exists, that's slowly dwindling year by year.
Yeah, with all the smart TVs and everything else, it's like everything has to be smart now. Even your refrigerator is collecting data on you.
Essentially, smart devices are just trying to outsmart you, hoping that you don't tinker with it. That's it.
Yeah, the smartest thing about the smart devices is that they're making a whole lot of money for all the people who are making them. I mean, I guess it's that same thing. We go back to the whole Google thing in the beginning. It's trading, the convenience. You're like, hey, it's a smart refrigerator. We'll tell you when you're running low on XYZ so you can reorder it on Amazon by pressing this red button right here.
Exactly.
But, at the same time, we're going to keep all your data, and we're going to know, oh, this guy drinks a lot of Ensure. I wonder what's wrong with him,
Exactly.
Maybe
this guy drinks a lot of keeps putting his vodka in the freezer, like a new bottle every couple of days. I guess we should tell him his insurance company.
or we should start sending him spam messages from Alcoholics Anonymous, or Or if we want to go the other way around, we could be like, hey, we see you like this vodka. Whoever gives us the money, if some other vodka company says like, hey, anybody who's hitting the bottle too much, you send them an ad for us because we like to be their vodka of choice on a bi-weekly basis.
They're self-medicating. Let us be the medication of choice.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next article may be the thing that I'm the most excited for in this episode of The Tech, even though it is, it's just hardware. It's just hardware. As a Samsung 960 Pro and the 960 EVO M.2 PCI Express SSDs.
NVMe of all things.
Yes, these things are ridiculous. Let me just scroll down here so you guys can see. So based on the last generation of the 950 Pros, they were getting like 2,500 on the read and 1,500 on the write. These are going to get 3,500 and 3,200 on the read and 2,100 and 1,900 on the write, depending on if you get the Pro or the Evo. Man, I want that Pro. And also they go all the way up to 2 terabytes in size.
It's delicious. That's delicious.
I think it's about time to build one of these. I need to talk to Samsung because I kind of like we're going to call somebody. Like, man, can you guys get me like a good price on these things? Because stuff's rough right now, but I really want to build a new computer. I've got a 20-core Intel Xeon just sitting around on the desk, but I don't have any. That's the one thing I don't have is a nice M.2. I think it's about time to build one of these. We should. That's it.
Yeah, build video. Do a nice video editing core count. Just video editing, thrashing video.
You know something?
I kept saying video.
I'm kind of curious to see if Premiere is going to take advantage of all those cores because as of late the Premiere hasn't been as good with multi-threading as some of the other programs. Maybe I'll throw Linux on there.
No, the Skylake 6700K is giving a lot of those Xeons a run for its money.
Yeah, it is, but depending on the application, I mean, you run CAN benchmarks that take advantage of all the cores like Cinebench and stuff, and it'll be like, holy crap, they've got the best Cinebench score ever. So I'm going to have to figure out, how multi-threaded some of these things are and just, and then play around with it that way. But yeah, this would be a nice addition to a new rig. Anyway, very excited about that. Damn it, those things are. I wonder how hot they're going to get. Because the other one, like some of them you needed to put heat sinks on top of these things. So probably sell a few heat sinks to throw on top of those.
Yeah, I think Puget would just do that automatically on all
Puget
their,
systems.
Just a little heat sink on there for you to counteract whatever heat. Because, I mean, they have a room dedicated to just figuring out where the heat sources are with the FLIR cam and everything.
Yeah. All right, you ready to talk about some science? We're going to check out some tardigrades. Hey, water bears. Do you know?
Water bears?
Water bears. Tardigrades.
Yeah,
so
tardigrades, what are they?
Tardigrades are microscopic creatures that are nearly indestructible. They call them water bears because they look kind of like bears. Look at that little thing with its bareness. I don't know. It doesn't look like...
It's so adorable.
Looks like more like a manatee to me. But anyway, they said that one of the easiest ways to find these things, if you guys are curious and you want to see some tardigrades, go find some nice moss and wring it out, and then the water that comes out of the moss, go and put that under a microscope. You may see some of these tardigrades floating around. Now, tardigrades are pretty much indestructible. They can survive at absolute zero. They can survive in outer space. They can survive boiling, and they can go for 30 years without eating. These things are freaking ridiculous. Now, they do a lot of these things by putting themselves into sort of not a catatonic, but a state where their body doesn't metabolize anymore, and they can just sit there. When shit gets bad, they're like, you know what? That's it. We're shutting off. We're not metabolizing anything. We're just going to shrivel up. And, they can survive dehydration, and they just wait until better times. And then when better times come around, they're like, oh, it's a little warmer. There's some food here. There's some water. Then they fix themselves. So science has been studying these things, trying to figure out why they're so impervious, why they're so tough, why they can survive so many things. And they've been really, really resistant to radiation. And at first, scientists thought that it was a protein that was going in and repairing their cells, but now they've discovered that it's actually a protein that protects their cells. And they're saying that this is some, DNA information that they could possibly use to make humans and other things more resistant to radiation, because it's basically just a coating or a shielding that's keeping them safe when they're in radiation. What's that?
We can live on the sun now.
Yes, exactly. If we could harness the DNA power of tardigrades, we could live on the sun.
The sun.
Yeah. And then when we get there, we'll realize, oh my God, there's a whole colony of people here. Look at the Daedra. There's Daedra everywhere.
Bring on that bikini tan, man.
Instant tan. Yeah. So that's the bottom line here with tardigrades, is that soon we'll be able to colonize the sun. I think I'll move on here. So let's talk about Priscilla Chan and Mark Zuckerberg, because they want to create a system to cure and manage all diseases. Maybe they can. Maybe they can.
I don't know. I don't know about that. With the way. I don't know about that.
Well, so they're running an LLC, right? And their LLC does lots of different things, from investing in different things to working with charities and also trying to figure out cures for diseases. I think the interesting angle here with this one, and one of the next articles that we're going to talk about with Microsoft, is that they're coming at it from more of a programming standpoint, where they're looking at things and being like, okay, let's look at these things as programming problems. And then Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan, they said, maybe we can work on this from an artificial intelligence standpoint. And then that had me thinking, they're going to spend $3 billion on this, so that's a good amount of money. I think their stock's worth $49 billion over there at Facebook. They're going to spend $3 billion on this, right? So they're going for artificial intelligence. What else could that artificial intelligence benefit? They're doing this. I mean, I've never known Mark Zuckerberg to ever be altruistic. I've never known Mark Zuckerberg ever to give a shit about anybody, because, from day one, he said, like, when he was making Facebook, he was joking around about how stupid everyone was because they were just giving up their personal data. He's like, look at all these idiots just online giving me their personal data. Holy shit. So even then he was joking about it. So I've never known him to give a shit. But now he's saying, I give a shit. I give $3 billion worth of a shit. And I'm going to, cure all the world's diseases. And we're going to, work on artificial intelligence for that. So I'm going to cure all the world's diseases, developing artificial intelligence. That's all. If he can do that, that's amazing. But I'm wondering what else he's sitting there thinking that his artificial intelligence will be good for.
Your artificial intelligence is going to gather everyone's medical info through Facebook.
Now you'll log into Facebook as your they'll be like the new Medicaid.
Oh my God! No, imagine just all your providers are given to you through Facebook.
MetaBook, you mean, or Media?
MetaBook.
Yeah, medical. I don't even.
WebMD book.
Mm-hmm.
Dear God.
Yeah.
I'm here to Facebook. You can self-diagnose with us.
Yeah, I don't know much about Priscilla Chan, so I'll have to. Maybe she is slapping him around and being like, "Stop it! You're acting.
Maybe.
You're people are mad at you. You're gonna have to cure some diseases or something. Look, we've got $49 billion. Then all that money's pretty much going to go into the LLC, and we'll do some investing and stuff. But you're going to have to spend $3 billion on that, curing some diseases, or else people are going to yell and scream more. Maybe that's happening. I don't know, but I always, when you see a pattern with somebody, you always think, what are they really up to here? And Mark Zuckerberg also, with the whole internet thing over in India, he was like, look, I'm trying to save India. I'm bringing internet. Look at me. I'm Jesus. I'm internet Jesus. Come on. And really what he was doing was bringing a packaged version of the internet that was going to be it's going to be like essentially like back in the day when you had AOL and that was your gateway to the internet. It was the Facebook version of that. Like, this is your gateway to the internet. Oh, yes, the real internet exists, but this is the internet, I remember back in the AOL days when that was like the internet to a lot of people, and they just lived inside AOL's little garden.
No, I had back in AOL, was it certain things you couldn't do within its internal browser. So I would grab IE and circumvent that.
Yeah.
There's just so many things you couldn't do within AOL. It's like, no, I don't think you should be doing that. I was like, I'm going to do it. Shut up.
Netscape Navigator, bitch.
Web crawler.
Web crawler. I'm going to screw this. I'm going to Alta Vista.
No, how about Excite?
Jesus, man, we should. Whatever happened to that? That would be a cool video. What happened to all the old search engines? Excite, Alta Vista, InfoSeek. Yeah. Yahoo. Pretty soon we'll be asking like, whatever happened to Yahoo? So.
No. You know what I want? I want to know what happened to Prodigy, man.
They're the fire starter now, right? Hey. That one.
I love Prodigy. Prodigy was my first one. I didn't have CompuServe though. I had a Prodigy.
But you had Prodigy. Holy crap. I don't think I ever had Prodigy. I had a couple AOL accounts though. Just in case.
No, I had that. I think, oh God, I probably still have it somewhere. Probably AOL 2, 3, maybe 4.0, the CD that you just keep reinstalling, getting your free month or free 60 days. That's all I ever did.
Nice. All right, back to medical stuff. Microsoft says that they're going to be able to, or will not be able to, but they're going to try to solve cancer in 10 years. And they're doing something also pretty interesting. They've got, they're getting biologists and computer scientists, and they're bringing them all together into one spot. And they're coming at diseases again as, like trying to fix a bug in a program. And they're looking at it from a different way. And, they've got these guys there, and they're mapping out the cells and just treating everything as if it were, a computer bug instead of a disease. And the other thing that's interesting is they're even working on a tiny computer that is made from DNA that could live inside your cells and mess with things. A computer made of DNA. I kind of want to go up to Washington and see what they're up to there, because that's very interesting.
Let's go take some camera crew there and go check it out. It's like, hey, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, what's going on in here? Sniff around. Like look at these weirdos sniffing around our campus over here.
It's like, hey, what's that syringe? Where's that going? But it makes me wonder if that is. I mean, it doesn't mention about AI necessarily. It's got one job. It's got one job to do. But what if it runs amok and it's like, I don't like that. You just have a hole in your heart.
Yeah, they're AI. It's like you install these DNA robots, and then it's like, you will upgrade Windows 10 or you will get a hole in your heart.
God.
That's what's going to happen.
God. Oh my God, that's horrible. That's bad.
The upgrade Windows 10 thing will become a cataract on your eye.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, a little image, it'll be screen burn-in on your eye.
Everywhere you look, would you like to upgrade? And you can't click no, or else you'll get a hole in your heart.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
This is all 100% true. No.
Yep.
No. We don't know what Microsoft's really planning. Or do we? I talked to Satya Nadella on
Satya Nutella?
Salty Nutella. I talked to Salty Nutella and rubbed him all over my biscuits.
Next topic.
Oh man, I have to wait for my face to recover from that. Monday, are you ready for NASA's big announcement on Monday of what they've discovered on Europa? Are you waiting for the Europa report that's going to be out on Monday? This is a non-article because there's no actual information other than we are about to say something in a few days.
You know what? They found the monolith.
The monolith? They said, the one thing is like right here is if you read their tweet, Monday will announce new findings from Jupiter's moon Europa. Spoiler alert, not aliens. So I know that was the first thing that everyone is going to get excited for. But Europa has possibly twice as much water, liquid water, under the surface of all that ice as Earth does. So who knows what's down there, and who knows what they've discovered. I'm not sure. Maybe they've discovered complete proof that there's warm water, or maybe some steam vents or volcanic activity or a solid. I don't know what they've discovered. I'm just saying nonsense. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just why am I even still doing this? I'm not an astronomer. Who am I? I'm going to sit in the mirror and look at myself for a long time after this. Oh, should we lighten up a little bit? Would you like to? Maybe. Let's go over to China. I think I'm going to skip the teleportation article because that's happened a few times. If you guys want to go check it out, it's pretty damn cool. But researchers have teleported a light particle 6 kilometers, still in a straight line, still utilizing the spooky action at a distance thing, But we've talked about this a few times, and they've just increased the distance, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, internet cafes in China. Well, not internet cafes. Virtual reality cafes are popping up everywhere in China. That's pretty damn interesting.
Yeah, that is. That's fun. I wouldn't mind something like that. I wouldn't mind something like that popping up over here. You pay a little fee. Say, hey, you get to mess around for an hour.
Yeah, it's interesting because this technology is decently expensive, and here in America, it's not really breaking into the market all that strongly. I get HTC Vive and Oculus Rift, and it's still very, very, very niche. But over there, they've gone a different route. They've installed all these cafes where you can go and hang out, and they're trying to make it sort of more of a social thing. You go and other people can watch you fail or watch you fail. Oh yes, we need to open one of these called Fail and Flail.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Who's with me? Are we gonna do this or what?
Hey, you thought the Nintendo Wii was bad? Come with us.
Fail and Flail. Yeah, we're gonna open up a cafe for virtual reality called Fail and Flail, and we'll have everyone sit around and watch you play.
That sounds safe.
That nod was disingenuous. I don't think you want me to do this.
Can we set up a live stream so people can make fun of the people online too?
Yes, live stream.
New business model.
Someone register Fail and Flail before this goes live.
Right. No, but we should do it should be like a beercade kind of thing. You know, you got
like
like craft beers on one side.
Oh my God, yes, and we have to add alcohol. Lots of alcohol.
Yes.
This is it. Fail and
Beer
Flail.
and cider. Beer and cider.
I'm not joking. This is going to be a real thing. Yep, quitting my day job, but you guys already
maybe we can
fail, flail, and ale.
Flail and ale.
What the hell?
No. Just flail and ale.
Flail and ale.
Flail and ale.
Why are we still talking about this? Anyway,
I don't know.
I wonder how long these VR. I guess cafes and stuff are going to last in China. They're doing multiple different things. You can go and you can play sometimes with the HTC Vive, but they're also setting up, kiosks or little rides that you'd see in, like a mall or something where you do high traffic areas when you walk by that are essentially just rides. You sit down, pay like $7 US, and you strap on a headset and sit down and you just go on like a roller coaster ride or something. Some people are nauseated by it. Some people love it. Same sort of situation we have here, but there's someone on a ride right there. But I think it's interesting that they're doing this with this technology over there. And also now that China is really starting to throw these things all over the place, it's going to become more normal. People are going to become more excited about it. Chinese companies are going to start making more VR stuff, and it possibly could be good across the globe as far as VR goes. If we're looking for VR adoption, I still think the headsets need to get less clunky and stuff, but
that can easily become a phenomenon just overnight. We start doing that.
Yeah. All right, I think that's pretty much it for today. One last thing I want to mention, if you guys are fans of the music of FTL, Faster Than Light, check out Ben Prunty. He's got a new album coming out in just a couple of days, and there's a few songs on here you can preview. They're pretty good. So if you're a fan of video game music, chill and soothing music, I'm going to give it a personal recommendation. I don't know, do you like Ben Prunty's FTL music and stuff?
I've played FTL on and off. It's got a nice vibe to it. I like to chill the music sometimes.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I just want to give him a shout out here because he's making really good video game music. If you guys know some other really good video game music, feel free to go over and share it in the forum. It's always good to find good new composers to add to the hanging out in the office list. So
I used to take my MechWarrior 2 game CD-ROM. If you put it into a CD player, it plays all the music. I used to love that.
Yeah, MechWarrior 2 had really good music, and there's a lot of other ones like that did that. Like Descent 2 had a heavy metal soundtrack, and the Quake games, you did that with the Quake games and with the Nin soundtrack, or the Trent Reznor soundtrack. I shouldn't say Nin, but I remember back in the day when that was a thing. Now it's just digital soundtracks, but which is
a lot of Trent Reznor's instrumentals were used in a lot of games actually. I really liked them. That's how I found them.
Yes, indeed. All right, guys, so that's the episode for today. I want to say thanks to all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are keeping us alive. The store is awesome. There's some new stuff in there. By the way, this is like one of your last chances to grab the shirt of the month here. Move that aside. You can see it. Yep. It was by request, so thanks for all the requests. If you guys have ideas for T-shirts, remember, we'll throw you guys $100 if you send in an idea and we use it on the store. You guys can throw that in the forum as well. And I think it's pretty much the end of the citation. Subscribe, push buttons, do stuff, jump through hoops. Anything else I should say? Hutch? Good? Everything's good?
More videos coming soon.
Yeah, more videos coming soon. Things are moving in the right direction, and I'm happy internally. Like internally in the office, but internally in my heart of hearts, I'm happy too.